What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Imperial Diecast. And today we will be taking a look at another plane model, a 1/500 scale Austrian Airlines McDonnell Douglas MD-87. So you can see it says Herpa up here, and we have a picture of the real plane at the front of the box. Unfortunately, you can see that it has a few scuffs over the years, so it's not a brand new box, but then again, this model is over 20 years old. This is Herpa catalog number 506113. And then over here, it just says Herpa. And at the back, we have an ad for Wings World magazine. And then we have the wingspan, the length and the height of this plane, which is 32.9, 39.75, and a height of 9 meters. Okay, let's start unboxing this one. So as always, I'm careful here, and I use this pick to separate this tab. That way I don't tear up the paper. Carefully open this. Lift the plastics. And here it is. The Austrian Airlines MD-87. So the MD-80 series was the successor to the DC-9 because the DC-10 was a completely different type of aircraft. It was a twin-aisle wide-body trijet, but the MD-80s continued to be the narrow-body single-aisle type of airliner that the DC-9 was, but modernized. They made several variants of this plane. The MD-81, 82, 83, 87, and 88. And this 87 is the shortest version of them all, with a fuselage about 4.5 meters shorter than the others. It has roughly the same length as a DC-950, and the MD-87 entered into service in 1987, with Austrian Airlines and Finnair being their first customers and Iberia their main one. Austrian Airlines also had the longer MD-81s and 82s in their fleet, and these MDs, or Mad Dogs as they're called, served the airline for almost 20 years until they were gradually replaced with the A320, with the last one being decommissioned in 2005. So more than 15 years later, I'm making this review, and as you can imagine, I was too young to really fly in one of these planes, but my parents' generation definitely had the privilege. And there's just something interesting about these type of planes, because you don't see them anymore these days. Now, I purchased this model for approximately €14.50, and considering its size, it is not really cheap, because this is a plane that is absolutely dwarfed by pretty much every other plane out there, as I will show you later in some of the comparisons. But despite its small size, it definitely has a lot of detail compared to the vintage Herpas. This is actually one of the modern Herpas, and over the course of this review, I'll show you all the details that it has. So we'll start off with the side of the plane, and right up here at the front, you can actually see that it says Klagenfurt. Klagenfurt being the capital city of one of the 9 states of Austria. You can even see that it has the state crest on top of it. This plane, the Klagenfurt, actually entered service in 1990 and served for 15 years until 2005, after which it was sold to an American LLC and became a private jet, currently in storage in Chicago Rockford, Illinois. And now moving on to the L1 door. You can see it has a window, and then on top of it there's something written there. I can't really tell what that is. And as we move along the side, you can see that this is the livery from the late 90s. This is a more modern livery compared to the Austrian Airlines A310-300 that I reviewed on my channel. So we have the Austrian branding over here. We've got the red arrow. And then moving along the side, you can see that underneath the window line you have this cheat line, which is half blue and half green. Got the two emergency exits over the wing. And back here we have another door right in front of the two engines. And as we move on to the tail, you can see that we have the registration at the back. This is OELMN with the Austrian flag and the EU flag next to it. And then we have the old livery where the entire vertical stabilizer was painted in the Austrian flag colors with the Austrian Airlines logo in the middle. And here's a look at the T-tail's horizontal stabilizers and the elevators. The leading edge is painted in silver. And as we move on to take a closer look at these engines, these are supposed to be Pratt & Whitney JT8D-219s, I believe, giving the plane a range of 5,400 kilometers. You can see that Herpa included a little bit of detail for the fan blades, as you can see right there. The engine pods themselves are made out of plastic, so compared to the fuselage, they may yellow over time. Thankfully, on my model, there is no such process visible. Now, if we check out the wings, these are also done pretty alright, although they don't have any registration on them. And they also don't have any emergency exit markings on them, like on the MD-87, I believe. And now checking out the front of the plane, you can see that Herpa put good detail for the cockpit windows. You can see that it does come with the silver cockpit window frames. There's even the eyebrow windows on top of the normal cockpit windows. And then in the middle, we actually have something written there. Is that an H? I can't tell. But I think it's supposed to be there. There are no window wipers, though. And then over here, you can once again see the Klagenfurt branding. Oh, and right next to the doors, you should also be able to see a Star Alliance logo. But yeah, that's about as sharp as I can get it. So yeah, really cool plane. Quick look at the tail section, and you can see that there is this little flat edge at the tail, which is a little different to the tail of the MD-81 and MD-82, because the MD-87 had like a little straight edge. And unfortunately, the ends of the engines are not painted in black, so it's as if they don't have any sort of exhausts, but I suppose you can do this yourself with a little marker or something. And finally, let's take a look at the landing gear. This is, of course, the newer landing gear, not the old clunky Herpa ones. You can see we have the cargo doors painted on this side, and then at the bottom, there is really not much to see in terms of detail. And here's a comparison between the Austrian Airlines MD-87 and an Aeromexico Boeing 757, which I've also reviewed in the past. I chose this comparison because both are narrow-body airliners. But you can see that with the shortened fuselage, the MD-87 is even smaller than the 757, making it look larger in comparison. Although I'd think that an MD-80 or 81 would probably be quite similar in size, if not in height. So thanks again for checking out another review of mine, guys. I hope you like these plane reviews, because I have a lot more to show you, and I'll keep mixing them with some car reviews every now and then to keep you entertained. And I'll catch you in the next review. Take care. This is Imperial Diecast, signing out.